Good morning, church. Happy Saturday. Good to be with you this morning. And as we're reading through our reading in Joshua today, we will notice that the action-oriented nature of the book comes to a screeching halt, and we are confronted with kind of a monotonous list of beginning to see the outline of the tribal allotments, as well as a couple indications that now they're starting to run into trouble. Couple of big takeaways from this. Number one, if you look at a map, you can go find one where someone has charted out those ancient cities and where those boundaries are. It's so much easier to understand what's going on if you can see it. And one sad reality is that those allotments are never fully realized. The Israelites never go and lay claim to all that God had to offer them for their land. And I think that we can spiritualize that, so to speak, and ask ourselves, are we grasping and taking hold of all that God has to offer us, everything that He wants us to have? Or are there enemies and mountains and things that are getting in the way of us realizing everything that God has for us? And one of the things that gets in the way is just whatever the obstacle is, we come and we say, it's too difficult. I can't overcome that by myself. And we look in Joshua 17, and we have this encounter where the tribe of Joseph, and that's West Manasseh at this point, is coming, and they say to Joshua, "Why did you give us only one tribal allotment as an inheritance? We have many people because the Lord has been blessing us greatly." This is verse 14. "If you have so many people," Joshua replied to them, "go to the forest and clear an area for yourselves there in the land of the Perizzites and the Rephaim, because Ephraim's hill country is too small for you." But the descendants of Joseph said, "The hill country is not enough for us, and all the Canaanites who inhabit the valley have iron chariots, both at Bethshean with its surrounding villages and in the Jezreel valley." So Joshua replied to Joseph's family, that is Ephraim and Manasseh, "You have many people and great strength. You will not have just one allotment, because the hill country will be yours also. It is a forest, clear it, and its outlying areas will be yours. You can also drive out the Canaanites, even though they have iron chariots and are strong." So they wanted more land, and so Joshua said, "Well, go take it then. It's yours." And they said, "No, it's too hard. The people are strong, they have iron chariots." And what they're really saying is, we don't think God will give it to us. We don't trust God to provide that because the obstacles seem insurmountable to us. And so that is our faith challenge as we look at what God is calling us to do in our life, always to things that are beyond us. We are called to pray for things that are beyond what we could ask or imagine. That's what our God can do. And we look at the obstacles between us and where God wants us to go, and we say, "I could never get there." And I believe at that point God says, "Yes, you're right. You couldn't do it. I can do it, though, and I will move you through to that." And there's a common saying in Christian faith that God will never give you anything you can't handle. Sure, He would. He does it all the time. But He empowers us to overcome those things in His strength, not our own. To say that God won't give you anything you can't handle is to say that God will never push you beyond the limits of your human strength. I'm sure the people that listen to this understand that that is not true. God allows us to be tested beyond what is available in our own strength to do. And so we have to put our trust completely in God. so that we can pass the test in His strength and not our own, and that we can grasp onto Him to fulfill the promise. Well, happy Saturday, church. Take some time to rest today, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.